Hey everybody, how we doing? All right, today we're gonna do some little learning. Hope that doesn't scare you, but this is what we're doing. I showed you the dent best I can. It's hard to pick up in the camera, but we're gonna, obviously we got a bunch of dents on these panels, but we're just gonna show you this one, kind of show you why we do things the way we are and how to do it and not screw it up, as long as you listen to me. But what we got is a dent. It actually runs this way, and then it's got a brow underneath it here. That's a high ridge. So what we need to do is we need to pull this out. Well, given where it's at and how it's kind of in there, we're not really able to hammer and dolly that very effectively. So we're going to do some dent pulling. What we're going to use for that is this big guy right here. What we're going to have to do though, is we've got to grind that to bare metal, because the nail that we're going to add in there and this outer ring is your ground. So when you put it on there, you're going to push it all the way in, and then you're going to pull the trigger for just a second. Just and it'll be done. But what we're going to have is these pins. I don't know if you can see that very well. Get a close up, check you out here. That guy right there. Okay, a little glitchy guys, sorry about that. Anyways, what we're going to do with that pin, once this is ground down, we're going to weld it right in the bottom of our dent. I'm going to put it right at the deepest point here. And then we're going to be able to hook onto that with our slide hammer. A slide hammer is going to slide on, hook that, and then we're going to be able to use this and knock that dent against that dent. Sometimes you won't even need the slide hammer, you can just pull. But the other thing we're going to have to do is with this brow down here, we're going to have to tap that down. And so what we're going to want to do, and we'll get into this as we're doing it, I'll show you a little more, but just so you kind of know what's going on, we're going to pull on it and bring that up, and then while we're putting tension against that, we're just going to lightly tap on that brow. So that'll help bring everything kind of back together and get it where we need it. So I'm going to grind this out and then catch back up. Okay everybody, it's the moment we've all been waiting for. We're going to pull a dent. Woo! So, like I said, we're going to want this nail to end up right in the bottom of that dent. So, to do that, we just slide it in the end of the stud gun, find right where you want it. You can feel right where that dent's at. Just put your finger there, and like I said, you're going to push this all the way against the panel, and you're going to want to hold pressure against it for the whole time. If you start pulling away while you're still pulling the trigger, it's going to spark. Never mind that. It's going to spark and short across, and it's not going to weld your pin on as well as it should. So pressure against it, pull the trigger for just a second. Done. Now we got that nail stuck to our panel. Then what we're going to do, our nail is going to slide right in the end of this slide hammer, and we're going to be able to put pressure against it, and then you want to start pulling against it before you start knocking. But then just a little bit of tap in there. Now again, we're going to take our body hammer and we're going to tap on this brow just lightly. Now, we can run our hand across it again and see where we're at, see what else is needing dealt with. We're still a little oil canny, so we're obviously needing just a little bit more. I feel like right there is a spot. Now, I am going to weld a nail right here, but I'm going to change your angle just a little bit so you can kind of see all around what's going on here. Pretty sweet burn, am I right? Anyways, that's why we don't really want to weld nails in areas that we can't get to the back of. The problem is, if we can't get to the back of it, a nail is our only solution. So, when we're doing this kind of stuff, we've got to keep in account, never mind, what we're going to do for corrosion protection. Because if we just leave that stuff burn up like that, it's got no more protection against, you know, these are going to get dirt down inside, water down inside through the windows, you know, things like that. Just humidity out here is going to be enough that it's going to eventually corrode, and then pretty soon we're going to have rust spots coming through our bodywork because we did all this work and then didn't address corrosion. So there's going to be a lot of ways. We'll talk about that more later, you know, when we're time. Now this, I can easily just sand and prime that and, you know, repaint the inside. We'll probably edge these doors anyways, re-edge this door anyways, just so it looks right. But, you know, this is not a big deal. But when we're getting inside, you know, a quarter panel or a cab corner on this, you know, whatever, we've got to be able to get in there and reinstill that corrosion protection, you know, re-solidify that and get it back the way it should be, because there's no point in doing all this work and then just having it rust to hell. We're trying to stay away from that. We're trying to do everything right as we go. So I just wanted to show you guys, that gives you a really good idea what's going on inside that panel. So that's, you know, that's just something to keep in mind, and that's why we try to do repairs the way we do. So on that, we're going to go back to dealing with this dent now. So again, we're still a little oil canning, so we just need to put a little pressure there. And by oil canning, guys, if you don't know, that's when it wants to just kind of pop. Hear it? Like an old oil can. So I know that we need a little here, and again, we're just going to kind of keep tapping our high spots. But we also need to come back. This one needs to come out just a little more again. Put another nail in the middle here. And again, you guys can tell I'm not just hammering on that thing super hard. It doesn't take much to get this sheet metal to move around most of the time. Alright guys, I think we're in awesome shape. So now, once we're done pulling on that, when we're done with those nails, we're just going to take a pair of side cutters, dikes, whatever you want to call them, and you just grab the head and twist it like that. It'll pop right off. If you have decent dikes. So now we're going to just regrind that, get all that off there, then we can feather edge and fill. Alright guys, so we got the metalwork now done on this door, cab corner, and the third door on the other side. We got everything's ready to feather edge or whatever. Basically we're going to strip this because it's delaminating. All this, everything we're saving is going to be basically stripped. So we're going to do that next, and then it'll be ready for filler. Knock that out, have them ready for primer. Going to be keep moving on. I'm not going to bore you with all this stuff because you guys have seen it now several times. So we're not going to keep pounding on this stuff. You know, for you guys, it's going to be just about repetition. That's what it's going to be about. It's what it amounts to. Is just keep doing it and keep improving and keep an eye. And when you find a mistake, go back and fix it. Get it right. You know, that's the thing. We want to make sure these things are right so that when we're driving them and enjoying them, we're not having to worry about stuff coming back and seeing problems and things like that. So that's important. But for right now, that's where I'm at. I'm ready to start doing that stuff. Hopefully next time we check in, this stuff's going to be at least ready for primer. We're going to have here next episode or two, we're going to tackle some cab corner rust. We're going to put a patch in. That ought to be pretty cool. I think this was a pretty cool video for you guys. I think that, you know, this was one I really enjoyed making, and I think it's really cool to see how it works. You know, obviously I didn't go into super great detail, but you guys got the gist of it. You can go out and start pulling dents on your own now. You've got enough information. It's, you know, just one of those things, you just got to do it. Once you start doing it, you'll figure it out. You know, you got the basics. It's kind of one of those deals, you just have to practice at it. I've obviously practiced a little bit. But anyways, for now, that's going to pretty well wrap up this video. So make sure you guys are liking the videos. That really helps. Get us in front of more viewers. Help more people that way. We can all hang out and enjoy our time together. But for now, like and subscribe. Go find a project. Get dirty.